The grand stage of America's Got Talent shimmers under blinding white lights. The audience murmurs in anticipation, waiting for the next act to begin. The stage crew clears the floor, and the host's cheerful voice booms, "Next up, all the way from the Philippines, please welcome Arvin." Out from the side wings, a young boy steps into the light. He's maybe 12, small and thin, wearing a simple faded shirt, loose jeans, and sandals that have clearly seen better days. His hair is slightly messy, his eyes bright yet full of nerves. As he approaches the microphone, a hush sweeps through the massive hall. The cameras zoom in on his trembling hands clutching the mic. Simon Cowell raises an eyebrow, Sofia Vergara leans slightly forward, curious. Heidi Klum smiles softly, encouragingly. Howie Mandel gives a reassuring nod. The atmosphere is warm but tense, everyone's waiting to see what this boy will do. The boy clears his throat and introduces himself in a shy, soft voice. Hello, my name is Arvin. I'm from a small village in the Philippines. His accent is thick, his tone respectful. A few people in the crowd murmur, smiling. Simon asks, "How old are you, Arvin?" 12, sir. How long have you been singing? Since I was little. My papa used to sing when we worked together. The mention of his papa shifts the air in the room. Simon's expression softens slightly. Arvin continues. He always loved the song, Hotel California. It was our song when we were working in the fields. The audience grows still, some leaning forward, sensing this performance will be special. The stage lights dim to a soft golden hue, a single spotlight centering on Arvin. The guitarist in the background begins to strum the opening chords of Hotel California. Arvin closes his eyes. The first note leaves his lips, pure, crystalline, and full of emotion. It's a voice no one expected from this small boy. Every vowel seems to carry a lifetime of pain and hope. The camera pans across the judges. Heidi's eyebrows lift in astonishment, Sophia covers her mouth, and Simon, usually composed, looks completely taken aback. The audience falls silent. It's as if time pauses to listen. Arvin's voice floats like light smoke, fragile yet strong. Every word he sings feels like a story unfolding, of dusty roads, lost laughter, and endless dreams. His tone blends perfectly with the music, balancing innocence and maturity. When he reaches the first chorus, "Welcome to the Hotel California," his voice rings through the hall like a bell. The echo fills the air, touching something deep in everyone. You can see a woman in the front row wiping her eyes. A man beside her mouths the lyrics, but his voice breaks halfway through. The camera cuts back to Arvin. His eyes are still closed, but there's a faint smile on his lips, not of pride, but peace. He's not singing for fame, he's singing to remember. As he continues, a gentle breeze from the stage fans his hair. The light shifts slightly, adding warmth, almost like the sun rising behind him. Every small detail feels cinematic, the shimmer of the microphone, the soft reflection of light in his eyes, the way the judges seem to forget they're being filmed. Simon leans forward, elbows on the desk, his expression now serious. It's rare to see him so focused. The other judges exchange glances, they know something extraordinary is happening. By the second verse, Arvin opens his eyes, and his gaze meets the audience. For a moment, it feels like he's singing directly to them, to every soul in that massive theater. The crowd sways slightly, mesmerized. His small hands begin to gesture naturally with the rhythm, his confidence growing. His voice climbs higher, clearer, hitting notes with surprising control for his age. The sound technician subtly raises the reverb, giving his voice an ethereal glow. When he softly sings, "You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave," the audience holds their breath. There's a haunting beauty in his tone, like a whisper from another world. In that instant, you can see Simon's lips part slightly, he's lost in the performance. Heidi whispers, "Oh my God," and Sophia wipes a tear. The final chords fade, and Arvin holds the last note, long, trembling, filled with feeling. When he stops, the silence is absolute. No one moves. Then, one person stands. Then another. And within seconds, the entire hall is on its feet. The applause bursts like thunder. The crowd cheers wildly, screaming his name, while Arvin just stands there, eyes wide in disbelief. He looks overwhelmed, like he can't believe any of this is real. Simon leans toward the mic and says, slowly, Greater than, Arvin, that was, absolutely beautiful. The boy lowers his head humbly, whispering. Greater than, thank you, sir. The stage lights brighten, the music fades out, and the host rushes out to hug the young singer. Arvin smiles shyly, his eyes glistening with emotion. As he walks backstage, clutching his chest, he whispers under his breath. Greater than, that was for you, Papa. The camera zooms in on his face one last time before fading to black, a small boy who came with nothing but a dream, and left the audience believing in miracles again. The audience hasn't stopped clapping since Arvin began. The lights dim again, the atmosphere thick with emotion. The guitar intro gently resumes, this time slower, more soulful. A spotlight centers on the boy, illuminating his small figure against the vast, shadowy stage. Arvin grips the microphone tighter, inhaling deeply. He's no longer just a shy child. Something has awakened in him. The nervousness from before is gone, replaced by pure passion. His lips part, and when he begins to sing the second verse, his voice carries a new kind of strength, calm yet overflowing with emotion. The melody of Hotel California floats through the theater, now drenched in golden light. The LED screens behind him slowly transition to an image of a desert highway under the setting sun, symbolic of the song's haunting beauty. Arvin's voice rises and falls with the rhythm, echoing through every corner of the hall. The camera pans slowly across the audience. A mother in the front row clutches her heart, her eyes glistening. A couple holds hands tightly. Even the host, standing off stage, looks frozen, his usual grin replaced by awe. On stage, Arvin's small body sways gently to the rhythm. Each word he sings feels like a confession, soft but powerful. His tone pierces the silence, weaving through every soul in the room. Simon Cowell sits completely still. His eyes, normally sharp and analytical, are glassy with emotion. He leans forward slightly, elbows resting on the judge's desk. You can tell, he's feeling every note. Heidi, sitting beside him, presses a hand to her heart. Sophia is whispering, oh my God, he's incredible. As Arvin moves toward the chorus again, the stage lighting subtly changes, now shifting to hues of deep purple and gold, creating a surreal, dreamlike aura. The audience feels it too, as if something divine is unfolding before them. Greater than, welcome to the Hotel California. Arvin's voice stretches effortlessly into the chorus. His tone is both fragile and commanding, angelic yet human. The words spill from his lips like a prayer. The audience begins to sway, some even closing their eyes to feel the sound. Then comes the bridge, that haunting guitar section that everyone knows. The instrumentalist on stage adds delicate strings, creating an orchestral version of the classic song. Arvin closes his eyes again, waiting for the cue. His chest rises with the beat. When he begins the bridge, the tone of his voice deepens. There's a tremble, not from fear, but from truth. Each lyric seems to draw from his own life. Greater than, mirrors on the ceiling, pink champagne on ice. The contrast between the words of luxury and the humble boy singing them strikes the audience hard. This is no ordinary performance, this is storytelling through pain and purity. You can almost feel the weight of his memories. Behind him, the screen transitions again, showing faint silhouettes of a young boy and his father walking through a field at sunset. The symbolism is unmistakable. The audience gasps softly. The judges exchange emotional glances. It's clear that even the visuals seem to echo his real-life story. As the bridge rises to its climax, Arvin's voice cracks slightly, a moment of raw humanity. He quickly regains control, and that single imperfection makes the song even more beautiful. The camera zooms in on his face, tears shimmer in his eyes, but he doesn't stop. The audience can feel it. The judges can feel it. Every soul in the room is hanging onto his every note. Then comes the emotional explosion, the final chorus. The music swells. The drummer adds a subtle heartbeat rhythm, and the lights burst into full brilliance, golden confetti beginning to sparkle faintly from above. Arvin takes a deep breath. Greater than, you can check out any time you like. His voice rises, trembling with power. The camera cuts to Simon, who whispers under his breath, unbelievable. The audience is now fully standing, clapping in rhythm, tears streaming down faces. Greater than, but you can never leave. With that final line, his voice sustains, clear, pure, echoing like a bell in the night. The note seems to last forever, reverberating through every speaker, every wall, every heart. The lights cut to black. Silence. Total, deafening silence. Then, a thunderous eruption of applause. People scream his name. The audience roars in unison, chanting, Arvin. 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 The judges are on their feet, a unanimous standing ovation. Heidi is wiping away tears, Sophia clasps her hands as if praying, and even Howie looks stunned, shaking his head in disbelief. But all eyes are on Simon. The camera zooms in. He's frozen, not clapping, just staring. Slowly, he rises, giving a single nod. It's his silent way of saying, that was perfect. Arvin lowers the mic, breathing heavily. His chest rises and falls. His lips tremble as if he's holding back tears. He looks around the vast sea of people, faces he's never seen, yet all of them are crying, smiling, cheering. He smiles shyly, whispering into the mic. Greater than, thank you so much. The crowd erupts again. The sound of thousands of claps fills the air like a heartbeat. The host rushes onto the stage, wrapping an arm around the boy's shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that? He's only 12. The lights slowly fade to a warm amber glow. Arvin looks up toward the ceiling, whispering something inaudible, a quiet message to his late father. The camera captures the tear that finally falls down his cheek. A voiceover from Simon plays softly over the scene as the background music swells again. Greater than, that was the performance of the year. Not just talent, that was soul. As the camera pans out, the audience still cheering, Arvin stands in the middle of the golden light, clutching his microphone. The look on his face is not pride, it's peace. He came as a poor boy. He sang as a dreamer. But in this moment, he became a legend. The echoes of Arvin's last note are still floating in the air like smoke after a firework, delicate, lingering, unforgettable. The entire theater is trembling with applause. Golden stage lights shimmer across the crowd, reflecting off tear-streaked faces. For a moment, it feels as though everyone is breathing in rhythm, unified by one boy's voice. Arvin stands frozen in the center of the stage, small and still, clutching the microphone to his chest. His eyes dart between the judges and the audience, disbelief clouding his expression. He's trembling, not from fear this time, but from overwhelming emotion. The host rushes up beside him, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Arvin, look around, he says softly into the mic. They're all standing, for you. The camera sweeps across the sea of faces, thousands on their feet. People wave their phones, some recording, some wiping tears. A mother lifts her young daughter onto her shoulders so she can see the boy who made the whole world stop. Arvin's lip quivers. His voice cracks as he whispers, thank you. Simon Cowell finally leans toward his microphone. His tone is quieter than usual, no sarcasm, no critique, just genuine emotion. Greater than, Arvin, he begins slowly, I've been doing this show for a long time. I've seen a lot of singers, a lot of performers. But very few make me feel what you just made me feel. The crowd hushes, hanging onto every word. Greater than, you didn't just sing that song, Simon continues, pointing gently toward him. You lived it. Every note, every word, it came from somewhere real. I could feel your father in that performance. Arvin's eyes widen. He presses a hand to his heart, tears threatening to spill. The audience collectively sighs, the emotional weight in the air is almost tangible. Heidi leans forward, her voice soft and motherly. Greater than, you have a gift, sweetheart. You made us all remember something we lost, hope, love, faith. You sang with your soul, not your voice. Sophia adds, greater than, you made me cry, and I don't cry easily. That was like watching an angel sing. Howie nods deeply. Greater than, you didn't just win the room, Arvin, you touched the world tonight. Arvin can barely respond. He wipes his tears with the back of his hand, bowing his head humbly. I just wanted to make my papa proud, he says in a trembling voice. The crowd reacts instantly. Awe fills the theater. The camera catches Simon closing his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. When he opens them again, something changes. He pushes back his chair, stands up slowly, and walks toward the judges' table. The other judges look at him, knowing that look. Heidi whispers, oh my gosh, he's going to do it. Simon stands directly over the big, golden button. The audience instantly roars in anticipation. Arvin's eyes widen. He looks from Simon to the button, back to Simon again, not daring to believe it. Simon looks at him and says simply, Greater than, this, is for your father. Then, bam, Simon slams his hand down on the golden buzzer. A thunderous sound fills the room, a deep, echoing boom that seems to shake the entire theater. In an instant, golden confetti bursts from the ceiling like a waterfall of stars. The music swells into a triumphant crescendo. The lights flash gold, illuminating Arvin in a heavenly glow. He gasps, covers his mouth, then drops to his knees as golden paper rains over him. Tears stream down his face as he laughs, cries, and shakes all at once. The camera spins around him, capturing the surreal magic of the moment, a poor Filipino boy in torn jeans and a faded shirt, now standing beneath a storm of gold. Simon walks onto the stage, brushing confetti off his jacket, and kneels beside the boy. He places a comforting hand on Arvin's shoulder. Greater than, never forget this moment, Simon says gently, smiling, a rare, genuine smile. You've just changed your life. The audience screams. The host joins them, shouting over the music. Greater than, Arvin. You are going straight to the live shows. The other judges rush the stage. Heidi and Sophia hug the boy tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. Howie claps Simon on the back, shaking his head in disbelief. The golden confetti keeps falling, shimmering under the spotlights. Arvin raises his face to the sky, eyes closed, whispering through his tears. Greater than, thank you, Papa, I did it. The camera zooms in on his face, the mixture of exhaustion, joy, and gratitude. His small hands reach out, catching the falling gold pieces. For him, every piece is a memory, every shimmer a symbol of how far he's come. The director cues a slow-motion shot. Arvin standing under the golden rain, arms wide open, confetti swirling around him like blessings from heaven. His voice, faint, trembling, sings the last line of Hotel California a cappella, just one final note, echoing softly. The audience begins to chant again. Greater than, Arvin, Arvin, Arvin. Simon turns to the camera and says with pride. Greater than, that's why we do this show, moments like this. Cut to the backstage hallway. Arvin walks slowly, still crying, still smiling, confetti stuck in his hair. Crew members cheer, some wiping their own eyes. The host puts an arm around him and asks, how does it feel, buddy? Arvin laughs through his tears. Greater than, it feels like, my father heard me. The screen fades into black and white footage, clips of him singing, of Simon pressing the button, of the confetti falling. A voiceover from Arvin plays softly in the background. Greater than, sometimes, you just have to sing with your heart. Even if you're poor, even if no one knows your name, your voice can still reach heaven. The final shot fades back to color, Arvin looking straight into the camera, smiling humbly. His eyes glisten as he whispers. Greater than, dreams are real, when you sing them. Cue the end credits, slow, emotional piano music plays as golden confetti continues to drift across the screen, the echo of applause fading into silence.